Now, we know some of the reasons why girls may reduce their engagement in sport, but how do we combat this? So Women in Sport have designed 8 principles for success to be used to rethink existing programs and develop new ideas for engaging girls in sport. So as you can see on your screens now, there's the 8 principles for success. And these principles can be used to rethink existing offers and programs and develop new ideas and initiatives to better engage teenage girls. So ranging from no judgment to emotional rewards, as we spoke about previously, rather than the winning side of things, having that pride and you know, having that pride of your successes through sport, giving girls a voice and a choice, and creating truly relatable role models that we spoke about as well, you know, not just the people that are right at the top, but throughout the stages of the sporting career. What does that look like, and how can we provide those sporting role models for girls? I actually spoke to someone the other day about, now everyone gets scared when I say this word, TikTok, but it's a fantastic platform for utilizing and engaging the younger generation. If they can see that someone that they might be following on TikTok is going to try out a new sport, then they might think, oh, actually, I might go give that a go. It's utilizing what's already there and already current and growing to engage the next generation. And, you know, with the world of social media, that is so important. So Kate, what can clubs do to engage girls in sport using this guide and the 8 principles for success? And can you talk to us a little bit about the work that you've done with Accelerate Sport to provide an e-learning, oh, sorry, Kate. Yeah, Kate, sorry. Yeah, to provide an e-learning space for clubs and the national governing bodies.
Yeah, so just to give you a little bit of background, what we did, and I think what you were saying, Laura, is really important. We go back and we talk to the girls. So we didn't want to just understand their motivations for sport. Actually, we want to understand them as girls. What do they really want from their lives? And I think that's something that you first and foremost need to think about, is actually you're not trying to drive your sport and drag it to the girls. Actually, what you're doing is you're really making it relevant for them. So I think that's the first thing that I would say. I also think that often we talk about girls as one homogenous group, and we tend to say, a little bit like you were saying, you're the token woman. They say teenage girls don't want competition. Teenage girls don't want this or do want that. You've got to think about the different girls that you've got there. So I think, again, really important, what we always advocate is to start with the girls themselves and think about, from the girls out, what would motivate them, what really does light the touch paper for them. And so some of those principles, I won't go through all of them, but I think something like invoke excitement, I think we sometimes forget it isn't, you know, when we're talking about getting girls active, it sometimes becomes a prescription almost that, you know, they need to get active. But actually to create something that's truly exciting and truly adventurous that they really want to do. We often talk about FOMO and fear of missing out. You know, that's the bar we should be setting, something that they just really get inspired about. And too often I hear about sport almost being developed for a particular group of boys or men, and then a bit dumbed down for girls, because again, they want to have fun, but we need to think about, what does fun mean? Actually, does fun mean not having a purpose? No. Does fun mean not having competition? So sometimes it's just sort of rethinking that a little bit. And I think also just that moments of pride is super important. And I think, you know, especially when girls are going through puberty, and, you know, I think to Laura's point, girls don't have low confidence. It's not that they're born with low confidence. It's the fact that actually within that sporting context, they don't feel supported, and actually that confidence starts to wane. If somebody doesn't think you're going to succeed in something, or if somebody thinks you're only going to be this good at it and not this good at it, then more often than not, you don't live up to that expectation. So I think, again, thinking about those moments of pride beyond winning, what are they? What can you do to really reinforce those times when girls feel really pleased about it? It's not just about winning, it's about other things. So I think, you know, there's areas there we can really think about doing. And I think we say give girls a voice and a choice, which is super important, but not just necessarily ask them what they want, because if they've only had a narrow experience of sport at school and they've only done 1 or 2 things, asking them what they want won't be helpful. So open their eyes up to what's there, all the different possibilities that are there for them. And really, I think, approach this in a slightly broader way than we've done before. Instead of sport out, as I say, think about those motivations we heard about girls, gaining independence, wanting to have that support network. Really important elements that are happening during teenage years that sport and exercise brings in buckets, if you like. And if you're taking part in a football team, some of the skills that you learn there are absolutely incredible, and they take you through life. So what we've done, we've developed, as I say, from lots of ethnographic work, so going and actually spending time with girls, bringing them in onto communities so they can help develop the ideas for us. We've developed some of these principles, and as you were saying, if you can think about checking and sort of challenging your existing and thinking, have I actually thought about these different elements? How can I stretch what I do? How can I make sure I've given girls the voice and choice where they need to? How can I make sure that I've actually given them that emotional reward that is really important to fuel that motivation? So I think it's about challenging yourself about how you do it and setting that bar really high. And thinking about that, and what we have done, which has been brilliant actually, is working with 𝐿𝐴 again to develop a program, an e-learning program, which can help you sort of interrogate those different principles, think about how you might reframe and reset things. And I think, you know, post-COVID, we've got a great time actually, I think, to maybe do things differently and learn from what we've done. I mean, I know I've heard a lot of football clubs have sort of merged online with other aspects, and you know, I think there's been some real creativity out of what's been quite a challenging time. So again, you know, I think if you can inform yourself and prompt yourself to think differently, because we don't want to be doing the same as what we did and having the same questions in 10 years time. But in order to do that, we need to really look underneath the surface a little bit more and question what we're doing, and not just accept this as received knowledge. Let's question it, let's challenge it, and bring the girls into the heart.
Yeah, and I think the key word that you said there is to challenge yourself, isn't it? Because, you know, to go back to Laura's point earlier, we still are having similar conversations to many years ago. So let's really challenge ourselves and create a difference over the next, you know, few months, not years this time. Now, you touched there about Accelerate Sport, and Accelerate Sport have a special limited offer discount for the Engaging Girls in Sport course for all you guests here today, so saving 30% on the course at just a price of £14 per license. So the discount code will be emailed to you all after the event, and it'll also be in the chat box, which I can see that ศ์has already done for me. Thank you very much. And meetings can also be booked with Accelerate Sport to discuss a range of courses on offer, from equality and diversity, tackling racism and mental health. And you can visit the accelerate.sport website, or the link is in the chat for you there. Now, that does bring our roundtable discussion to an end.